Welcome to this week's episode of Your Stock Request for the 5th of October. Hi, I'm Michael Gable, Managing Director at Fairmont Equities. Your Stock Request is the weekly video where I take your requests and analyse the share price charts. So this week we have Quantis, Aussie Broadband, Evolution Mining, Deep Yellow and Soul Pattinson. So if you have a request, please send it through. Make sure you've signed up to the free newsletter, but our best stock tips come out every Tuesday in the Dynamic Investor Report, so make sure you are getting that report. But if you do enjoy these videos, we'd love you to share them on social media or even leave us a review. Our main business is in portfolio management, so if you'd like to have a trading account with me, then please let me know. And all the advice here is general only. So we've got the daily chart here of Quantis. We've looked at this one previously, earlier in the year where it looked like it was undergoing a period of distribution. So, after a big run up, we've had this sort of sideways movement with basically slightly lower highs. And as we could see, it finally broke lower at the end of August. So big sell-off there, obviously plenty of volume on the way down. As we could see, it's oversold. I mean, it became oversold back here, but didn't give us the buy signal in terms of the RSI. So it continued to slide and is still sliding. So look, we don't really know how far down this one can go, but because of the oversold nature, you'd be looking at some kind of short-term trade when it reverses. So I think you just have to wait for a reversal and see the RSI go back above 30, and that'll be your buy signal for a short-term trade. Okay, Aussie Broadband. So, been going well since the October lows. So the initial run up followed by consolidation. Then it's really kicked on in the last couple of months and good volume as well. But I think it may well be topping out now. So, you've got this vertical move up here. And then what it's done is possibly put in a little bit of a double top. And we've got divergence on the RSI. So, momentum's been trending lower since this peak here. So it may well consolidate. Again, don't really know how far back it will head, but we just need to look for a solid bounce off support for the next buy signal. So, if you can reverse here at 380, or you'd be looking at possibly even 340 for your next entry point. Okay, Evolution. So a move up here followed by a fairly flat correction. So if we're looking at the channel here, it's basically back to channel support, trying to bounce off support, a little bit oversold on the RSI. So you'd be looking for a reversal here. I think a move above 320 would be a safer buy signal. But it does look like this one's going to head back to the top of that channel. Okay, Deep Yellow. So we've looked at this one a couple of times. The initial break here, bull flag, breakout from the bull flag, and it's done obviously extremely well. Getting a bit vertical now. If we move to the weekly chart, we can see here that it's run very hard into this old high. So instead of getting near the old high and consolidating and allowing a bit of selling to wash through, it's just run up too hard. So you'd expect it to cool off here. Naturally it's hitting resistance. So moving back to the daily, so I'd expect it to continue cooling off. Again, I don't know how deep it will run or if we're going to get a bit more of a sideways move, but we need to wait for a consolidation before re-entering this one. Okay, and finally Soul Pat. So look, up until recently this was trading pretty well. So we had sort of a trend here, then you had almost a textbook sort of breakout where you had this sort of cup and handle formation, break on volume, closing on the highs. Fortunately, it came back to the breakout zone, and we can see that it spent quite a bit of time holding on to that breakout near $34. So not a good sign. I mean, ideally you'd expect it, if it was going to consolidate up here in the upper end, not in the lower end, and of course it broke lower, so it's sort of recently failed. This whole thing's failed now, and even here it's struggling in the lower end of this candle, not in the upper end. So at the moment it does look like the risk is to the downside. Okay, well that's all for this week. If you have a request, send it through and I'll try to cover it next Thursday.